Hello everyone, I have some satellite images of Sevastopol Naval Base here to look at. They show some quite interesting things. They were shared by MT Anderson on Twitter. Now, first of all, you may notice a big lack of vessels here. The base is far from empty, but a significant number of the Black Sea Fleet look to have been dispersed to Novorossiysk, leaving behind only the vessels basically needed for the defence of Sevastopol and the Crimean coastline. So we're talking mainly patrol ships. Those ships used to launch Kalibr and Oniks missiles are nowhere to be seen. We first saw the dispersal of many of the Black Sea Fleet ships earlier this month, but it is good to have further confirmation of it and that wasn't temporary. Now, I've gone through these ship types in more detail in past videos, so I'm not going to get bogged down in too much detail with that. I'm going to keep it brief. But here, at the frigate pier, we can see mainly patrol vessels, the Alexandric-class, the Bora-class and the Grisha-class. These are ships which Russia uses to patrol the western Crimean coast. They're relatively small vessels, and their duty is patrol and protection, which is why Russia's left some here. Ukraine has landed on the Crimean coast at least twice now, so Russia does need some vessels to carry out patrol duties, not to mention to protect the entrance to Sevastopol harbour in case Ukraine tries to carry out a marine drone attack. Also visible here, a pair of krivka-class frigates. These are air defence frigates, so are left here to aid in the air defence of Sevastopol. We've seen one or the other of these at Novorossiysk in the past, so they do move from base to base, but now both are seen at Sevastopol. Finally, on this image, check the dry dock. Russia doesn't have many dry docks, so it's always worth keeping a tab on them to see which ones are available. This one currently has the cargo vessel Matros Pozonik inside. The Matros has been there for a while now, so undergoing pretty heavy repairs. Here's Pivdena Bay and the submarine pen, ammo pier and the dry docks, as well as the ship repair bay. Let's start with Pivdena Bay. So this is quite full. First of all, we can see two Rapua-class landing craft and an alligator. Russia uses these to carry out transport duties between Russia and Crimea. So to see three large landing craft here, plus another in the ammo pier, shows that there continues to be a lot of transport operations between Novorossiysk and Sevastopol, despite the big risk to these ships because of Ukrainian marine drones. They do play a vital role. I believe the Crimean railway bridge is still limited to trains of a certain weight, so these carry out the bulk of heavy transport duties and shipments from Russia to Crimea. Here we also have a Natya-class minesweeper, a Vishnya-class intelligence ship, and the Ivan Kurs, another intelligence ship. Russia has used these intelligence ships on patrol duties of the Black Sea in the past. Further down, highlighted, an Amur-class repair ship, likely an important part of the Black Sea Fleet given how many times Ukraine hits Russian ships. Now here is something quite interesting. The submarine pen is completely empty. Now, we saw a few weeks ago that most of the Kilo-class submarines have been dispersed to Novorossiysk after the Rostov-on-Don was hit by a storm shadow. But one, I believe it to be the Alrosa, was typically left here permanently. Now, the Alrosa is gone. That's interesting, as it wasn't that long ago when Ukraine reported that a marine drone narrowly missed the Alrosa. So, has that too been sent to Novorossiysk for safety? We are going to have to wait for satellite images from there to say for sure. It could currently be on a mission, and that's why it's not shown up on this satellite image. Now the dry docks, ammo pier and repair bay. I'll get to the dry docks later, as they warrant a closer look. But at the ammo pier, we can see the third Rapua-class ship. At the repair bay, a Bora-class hovercraft. These we often see in dry dock or at the repair bay. They seem very temperamental and maintenance heavy. And of course, we have the Kilo and Minsk stuck in dry dock, which were both hit by storm shadows. Now the topmost dry dock. Let's take a closer look. So you can see that a weapons runner is in dry dock here still. This we saw in past satellite imagery, so the repairs needed seem to be lengthy ones. The dry dock below it is empty now. This was past occupied by a Bora-class hovercraft. Below that, another small floating dry dock which is also empty. So at Sevastopol, there are just 2 dry docks available, one of which is of a small size. But I want to look at the occupied dry dock to the left. There's a small vessel in it. A quick journey back in time here to October the 6th, the last image we have of this dry dock. At this point, you can see that the dry dock is empty. The Pavel Dazarvin was attacked on October the 11th or 12th. So the boat in this dry dock arrived after that incident. Now, you may remember when the Pavel Dazarvin was reported damaged by a Ukrainian marine drone. During that same attack, a tugboat was reported damaged and was sent to Sevastopol for repairs, with the Dazarvin being sent to Novorossiysk. So I'm wondering, could this boat here be the tug? Flipping to Google Maps, I measured the dry dock at being about 71 metres long, give or take. The tug that was hit was said to be the Professor Nikolai Muru. As we can see here, it has a length of 57 metres, so the size is pretty similar to the one seen in dry dock. Here's a photo of the Nikolai Muru. I can't really tell if it's a match because of the quality of the satellite image. To me though, the ship in dry dock, the white surface structure, doesn't seem large enough than what we can see on the Nikolai Muru, but I can't say for sure. But it could be a case that the tug that was hit was misidentified and it was a different type than the Nikolai Muru. The tug was reported damaged by Russian sources and the damage was said to be quite serious, so I would expect it to be seen in dry dock or at the repair bay. So I do think this could be it. I would love to hear your thoughts. Personally, I don't think the surface structure looks to match the Nikolai Muru, so I think it could be a case of a misidentification of which tugboat was hit by a marine drone. But either way, it is another dry dock taken up. Speaking of dry docks, there's one at Novorossiysk worth a look. So we saw that this has been taken up by a Project 2216 patrol boat for a while now. This one, I'm certain, is the Sergei Kotov, which was reported hit by Ukraine a couple of months ago. Well, MT Anderson shares 3 images. October 15th, we can see the Project 2216s at dry dock. October 17th, the dry dock was reflooded. MT Anderson suggests this may be because the boat was due to return to service. October the 19th, a possible other Project 22160 in. Now, this could be a new one, or as suggested in the text, it may just have been testing the Kotov for any possible leaks. If this is a new one, it may be the Pavel Dazarvin. This was sent to Novorossiysk after it was hit by Ukraine, but it is hard to say for sure if it's a different ship or the same one. So pretty interesting. Notably, but all but 2 dry docks at Sevastopol are taken, and one of those is quite small. Also, the possibility that the tug which was hit by Ukraine is now in dry dock, and finally, the fact that the Black Sea Fleet remains dispersed. All of the Kalibr and Oniks carrying ships aren't visible at Sevastopol. The Admiral Grigorovich-class frigates, the Buyanem corvettes, and the Kilo submarines. Sevastopol now is mainly occupied by patrol ships for safeguarding the coast and a pair of krivka-class air defence frigates. The Rapuas shuttle back and forth between Sevastopol and Novorossiysk. So if Ukraine were to hit Sevastopol again, I'd say the Rapuas are the main target to hit here, whilst heading to and through from the harbour, as thanks to Russia's defensive berms, there is a bit of a bottleneck caused at the entrance to Sevastopol. And then, the Krivak frigates. They play a rather minimal role in the war, but they do provide air defence coverage for Sevastopol, and losing a large frigate like that would be pretty embarrassing for Russia. So that's it for this video. Quite embarrassing that the Black Sea Fleet's naval base has been dispersed because it was getting hammered by a nation without a navy. We knew this was the case, but it is nice to have further confirmation of it. Now, before we finish, here are 2 videos about the new fundraiser with NAFO 69th Sniffing Brigade, featuring new Submarines channel patches. The donation links and details of how to get them are in the description. Thanks very much for watching, and take care everybody.
Ми Танковий батальйон 41-ї бригади. Потребуємо авто для виконання бойових завдань, евакуації поранених та аеророзвідки. Звертаємось по допомогу до Сучі Маймус та фонду 69 Сніфінг бригади. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
We are the Burevy Offensive Guard. We need a pickup truck to carry out the tasks of intelligent units on the front line, to transport personnel and ammunition. We appeal to Sachimaimas and Charity Fund 69 Sniffing Brigade to help us. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!